Now, I've done a lot of research on the best way to do my eyebrows. I didn't want them to be there's kind of a trend at the moment, I think, especially in like online makeup artists and stuff, to have your eyebrows be quite solid. But I didn't want mine to look too solid. I wanted them to look like real eyebrows. And I didn't want them to be too thin either, because that's not very cool at the moment. So I wanted like good eyebrows that look like actual eyebrows. So I tried loads of different products. And one of the things I tried, you can't get in Ireland, but you can get it through Parcel Motel or something, because they deliver to the UK. Selfridges sell it, and they deliver it to the UK. And it is it's by a Japanese brand called Suqqu, Suqqu, and they have two eyebrow pens, and they're really good for drawing on little hairs. If you want something that looks very, very natural. But I found that I wanted something darker, because without my hair, I really wanted a strong eyebrow. So if you're wearing a wig or something and you want a natural eyebrow, that's a great tool. But for me, because I didn't wear a wig, and because I wanted my eyebrows to, I suppose, be a feature, I was looking for something darker. And in the end, my favorite product is this little pot. It's tiny, but there's loads in it. It's Laura Mercier Brow Definer. It's a gel product, and this is the darkest color that they have, which is called Warm. And I was kind of a little bit uncertain about which color to go for, but in the end, I found that I bought so many different things and they were never dark enough for me, and I always wanted darker. So this is the one that I ended up with. And I've just realized I don't have my eyebrow brush, because I also bought the brush which goes with that product, which, even if you're not using the Laura Mercier gel, the brush is fantastic. So it's got two ends, it comes with a cover, and it's got this end, which is like kind of, you know, your normal eyebrow pen or a pencil brush, whatever this thing is, brush thing. But then there's a smaller end as well, which is great. I'm so bad at, you can tell I don't clean my eyebrow brushes every time I use them, because you've got like all makeup there. But anyway, this little end, I'll show you now, is great for the narrow end of your eyebrow, because you can draw a really precise line if you want that. I prefer something a little bit bushier, but you know, to each their own. So with this, I just use the big end of the brush and I dab it in, try and get a good bit of product on the brush, do a little dab in my hand just to get rid of any excess. And then I'm just going to use this mirror because I want to go quite close up, but then I'll scooch on up to the camera so you can see yourself. So what I do is I look to the natural shape of my brow, and even I've got some hairs growing back now, which I don't know if you can see. I think you can see a little bit there. I do have some hairs growing back now, but even when I didn't have any hair, I could still see the shape of my eyebrow. So I tried to go with the natural way that my brow goes. So I use this brush and I lightly dab at the inner end of my eyebrow, because you want that to be not necessarily quite as dense and dark as the other end. And then I go along the base of where, oh, I've messed that up. It's okay if you mess it up, you can use your finger. Just don't let it set, because then you won't get it off. I go along where I want kind of the base of my eyebrow to be. And it doesn't have to be too precise, because you want a natural, or I want a natural look anyway. So once I have that basic line to kind of the point of my eyebrow, where my eyebrow arch is, then I brush up. So I'm holding the brush kind of horizontally, drawing kind of lines this way. So I brush up from where they say that your eyebrow should end, just there, just by the inner corner of your eye. So I brush up and then kind of out. Now I've got some hairs there, so I'm kind of going along with them. But if you don't have hairs, you're basically drawing them on. And it doesn't necessarily look like individual hairs, but because you're doing the small strokes, it doesn't just look like one solid color. So it's, I suppose, the difference between like sketching with a pencil and using a marker. You get a softer effect. So then once I get there, I go obviously down where I want my eyebrow to go. I'm very lucky I have a scar there, which gives me great guidance. But practice will help you figure out exactly how you want it to be. So then I go to the smaller end of my brush, and I kind of define this arch, because I want it to be kind of at its, I suppose, most precise here. But even then, like, it doesn't have to be perfect, and the less perfect it is, the more real it's going to look. So if that's what you're going for, then, you know, you're onto a win. You don't need to worry about if you go slightly outside the lines or whatever. Like, I generally end up here with like kind of some higher lines than others, but that's how people's eyebrows naturally are. So I quite like that personally. So sometimes I even add in a little bit more texture here. So like that's basically it for this eyebrow. And you can see, I think it looks like a real eyebrow, which is what I want. And obviously there's a stark difference between this eye and this eye. I look like a bit of a weirdo right now. So I'm just going to do the other eyebrow. So as I did before, I just start from the inner corner, brush out with the line to give myself that kind of base to where I'm going to go down. Then I go in on my upstrokes and kind of over. So I'm kind of doing a curving motion here. But again, it's short strokes. So there, I have no scar in this eye to help me out, unfortunately. See, there's beauty in everything, even our scars. So there you go. And then you can have a look at your two eyebrows if you want them to match. But again, they don't have to be perfect because very few people's real eyebrows are perfect. But you know, you want a similar shape probably. Eyebrows are such a thing now that like they're, you know, people are so into brow products and so into making their eyebrows a feature that like I know you can shape your eyebrows in so many different ways. So this is just the way that I do them. But the key is the short strokes and not to focus too much on them being perfect because otherwise you end up with something that just looks fake. And, you know, at the end of the day, if you're mourning the loss of your actual real eyebrows, I suppose you don't really want something that's going to look totally fake. Unless that's your look, in which case, go for it. So that's it. Those are my eyebrows. So then from there, I'm just doing my normal rest of my face. I'll just do a little close-up of the, you can kind of see with my eyebrows there. You can also see there's like some little dots. I don't mind that. I like that. I like the little bit of imperfection. I think it's more realistic. So you can see it's not completely consistent color. There you go.